Hi, my name's Chantel Baker and I am here today with Adore Beauty and L'Oreal to show you how to create this beautiful daytime glam. Okay, so I'm going to start today with prepping the skin and I'm absolutely obsessed with the YSL Top Secret Setting Spray. This is a perfect spray and a perfect prep to prep the skin before any makeup. So I'm just going to lightly prep, and this is an actual essential. I just love how it hydrates and just lightly preps the skin for makeup without being too greasy or oily. Okay, my second product is the Lancome Genifique. This is another staple in my kit. What I love about it is that you actually get the whole pump, and that's how much you need to use for your face. It doesn't dry the skin out. It doesn't leave the skin too oily or there's not too much residue. And it's just, again, a perfect base for makeup. So this has been in my kit for a long time. And it's just one of those products that I find really work. I'm going to contour the eyes and hydrate lightly. It's really important to hydrate under the eye area. It's the one area that we find our skin's the most thinnest. So there's 70% thinner under our eye than the rest of our face. So it's really important to hydrate that eye area. So using an eye cream is super, super important. And I love this one again because it's not overpowering, it's not too thick. It's a beautiful gel-like consistency, and I just really gently hydrate under that area. And what I love about this product too is that it dries quickly, so you're not left with residue under the eye. So the concealer and the makeup will really sit really nicely. This is one of my favorite products. It's the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Primer. I'm so all about the glow, and this is exactly what it does. It's just that beautiful glow on the skin. And I actually just love the way that it finishes the skin. It doesn't make it, your foundation sits really beautifully on top. There's no dryness to the skin. It's just gorgeous, glowy and hydrated. And I feel like anyone can use this. I think it's sort of universal in all ages. You could also mix this into foundation if you wanted to lighten your foundation, and it would just make it that tint. So again, so important to skin prep. And this is one of my favorites. I love this foundation. It's been a staple in my kit for years, and it's the Surprise Luminous Silk Giorgio Armani. I'm using 5.5 today, and I'm going to be blending that with a buffing brush, and you'll just see how beautiful and easy this creates the most perfect base. So a couple of squirts, and then I'm using a buffing brush just to get that really beautiful even application, and I start on the cheek. And you'll notice I don't use a lot of product. This really goes a long way. And using the blending brush really blends it out to achieve that perfect, flawless base. No one wants to really see foundation sitting on their skin. It should all really be seamless and beautiful. And always make sure you blend down onto the neck and under the chin. And I also recommend using a few different colors. We were just talking before about sun tanning and fake tanning and things like that. So you really are different colors throughout the year. So I always recommend having 2 or 3 foundation colors. I stipple in areas that I want a little bit more coverage. So I'm just covering a little bit of the redness on the cheek, but you can just see how beautiful that foundation sets. One little tip that I also suggest is to always blend out in the creases. So you don't want any foundation to be sitting into these areas here because it's the one place that they'll sit in and grab. So you want to really make sure that they're blended out beautifully. Another product that I'm going to introduce you to is the L'Oreal Lash Serum. This is really, really great for those of you who wear false lashes or want to grow your lashes. This serum has been proven to strengthen and hydrate. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of that onto the lash line before I apply any eyeshadow. So it's just a twisty, and you'll see the gel come through. And you literally, just look down for me, just pop it onto the lashes just to hydrate and strengthen. So many people, so many clients of mine who get the lashes, the false lashes, you know, have weakened hair. So this is really, really essential to keep that strength of your lash and to really help them from not falling out. So the Brow Artist by L'Oreal is a real kit essential of mine as well, because I'm really just into sort of brushing the brow up now and not really filling in as much as I would. This color here is Duck Brunette. I love the little brush. And then it's all about just focusing on lifting that brow up. And you'll see the difference from this brow to the other, just what a little bit of that brow mascara does. And it's all about this brushed up, sort of gorgeous, feathery effect at the moment. Like, the difference is phenomenal. It's definitely gone to a more of a natural look now with the brows. So really grow out all these hairs. That's my advice. All right, so I have been loving using the L'Oreal Back to Bronze on the eyelid as an eyeshadow. I get asked so many times what I use, and I'm like, guys, get your bronzer out. So I use a fluffy brush just to get that beautiful swish of color over the eye. Just pose for me. And I'm just swirling and blending just over the eye area. And I just find this color really sort of enhances anyone's undertone and just really looks natural. And this is quick and easy for, you know, work, weekend, quick and easy glam. So get the color onto the area of the lid first and then lightly blend out. I use a little bit of product at a time. You don't want to end up with too much color and nowhere to blend. So you're literally just dabbing and applying. You really can't get this wrong. Okay, L'Oreal mascara is a big, I'm a huge fan. And I was really excited when they brought this one out. I've been trialing it and I love it. The reason why I love it, because it doesn't fall out on the face. It's really nice and black. You don't need a curler, and it just gives you super gorgeous lash. So turn the brush so you can really get that product into the roots. And don't forget all the edges, all the corners and all the inner corners of the lash. It's an option if you want to add, look up for me, a little bit on the bottom. I just like to sort of color in the roots of the lash rather than have the whole mascara coat them all. So I just kind of really lightly dab it on the root there and not all the way, so it's not too dolly. So now I'm gonna go in with concealer. And the great thing about this concealer, so it's a new concealer by Giorgio Armani. The great thing about it is that your foundation color is your concealer color. So if you work your foundation color out, then you know what concealer to go for. So we used 5.5 and I'm gonna use the 5.5 under the eyes. It's such a gorgeous formulation, this concealer. It's really, really natural. It's luminous. It doesn't crease. So notice how I don't go all the way under the eye. I'm just gonna blend in where I've applied. So this just brightens and hydrates the under eye, and you can see how beautiful and soft that effect is and how that finish just looks really natural. And I also just like to use a little bit around the nose and touch on the chin. You can also use these as foundations, just for that extra coverage, or you can also use it to highlight and contour. So I'm just using the excess. Beautiful. Guys, I'm gonna contour now with number 10 in the concealer. This gives a really, really beautiful natural finish. And what I'm just gonna do is add 3 dots from the ear, from the tip of the ear. So use that as your guide and then stop where the eye ends. So the tip of the ear, but you want to stop here. And then I'm just going to blend through that and just blend away so you're contouring really natural and you can't see where the product's been placed. And I love contouring with a cream and then going over it with a powder. I just find creams look really natural on the skin. And you can already see there how it's just kind of brought that color in. I like to blend it into the hairline as well. Just merge it all in. Use a tiny bit of that excess around the chin area and also around the hairline. I also love using these as eyeshadows. I use concealers as eyeshadows too, so I would even use a little bit of the tan as an eyeshadow and smudge that in. So now I'm going to use the Back to Bronze with a nice buffing brush, and I'm just lightly going to set what I've placed as the contour. So this is a great product to have in your handbag, just to touch up and add a little bit more bronze, add a bit more eye. Okay, I love blush. So we're doing the Melon Dollar Baby, and I love the L'Oreal blushes. I just find them super easy to use. You can't really go wrong. I find that you can't really add too much, but I just love how this color is really beautiful. It's got that gorgeous sort of undertone of pink. It suits any skin type, and it just creates that really youthful, beautiful makeup. So I really apply lots on the apples and just blend through to my contour there. So you can see that I haven't even dabbed it back in, and already that's just like so beautiful. This is a handbag essential. I think once your cheeks are touched up, I think it refreshes your whole makeup. How gorgeous is this color? Love. Okay, so I'm going to use the YSL Touche Eclat. This is one of those cult products, and I'm just going to use a little bit under the eye just to brighten on top of the Giorgio Armani that I've got there. This is just one of those finishing products that really like brighten the skin and really highlight that under eye area. And I like to do this step here because I find it just kind of like merges into the blush. I'm also going to add a little bit around the nose and a touch on the chin. I'm really, really lightly highlighting. And then I just like to get a blending brush and just blend that away. I love this product because it's so natural, but it naturally just highlights onto the skin without looking like really heavy. And it just brightens areas. It doesn't sit into the pores or into the fine lines. And you can just see how that just instantly like brightened up the makeup. So I'm finishing off with lips, and I've chosen L'Oreal's lip liner in 302, followed by the blush in a rush, just to complete this really beautiful natural look. I always use a lip pencil. It's one of my favorite things right now. Just together. And I just lightly create a little bit of contour to the lip. I don't want it to be too dark and intense, and I always start off the top and the bottom of the lip just to create that little pout. And then I come through and I make sure the edges aren't too, I don't overdraw the edge too much. I might overdraw a little bit of the top and the bottom, but I like to leave the edges sort of more natural, and that's what gives you that really beautiful pouty lip. I just like to blend through with nothing on my brush and just merge that lip liner in. So you can't really see where I started. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the blush in a rush, which is a gorgeous matte, just in the center of the lip. I'm just going to blend that all through. So I really like to dab lipstick. So it's kind of like that stain. And then my final step is setting. And I've chosen the Giorgio Armani setting powder. Again, we're going in the same shade, so it's 5.5. And I'm just lightly setting through the center of the face. Really lightly. It's really important to set your makeup so it doesn't move, but I don't like over powdering. I like that glow to come through. And my last step, again, is using the YSL Top Secret, just to set and refresh everything, and just to have that makeup sort of, sometimes I find when you do your makeup, it sort of sits, so this just adds that sort of glow back into the skin. Just close for me. And like, I like using a lot, so. So on the top of this lip, I'm gonna add a little bit of the YSL. This one is called, I think it's number 12. And I'm just gonna add this color because I wanna sort of bring back that really natural lip color. Just a touch of red. It's almost like cherry bitten lips. And it's gorgeous hydrating color. So it just adds a little bit of shine and just finishes off the makeup. Beautiful. Once the lips are done, sometimes you need to do the lip before, you know, and then you can sort of like add a little bit more cheek. So fresh and beautiful. Fresh day glam. And I'm gonna end this with a little spritz of one of my favorites, C by Giorgio Armani. Because why not?